Good evening. Welcome to the December 19, 2023 City Council meeting. The meeting is hereby called to order. Members of the public may attend this City Council meeting in person or may watch and listen remotely by viewing the meeting on Channel 8 WCTV and at the city's website at www.wayzata.org/WCTV. Public comment during the public forum and/or public hearing portions of the meeting may be provided in person at the meeting in advance or by logging into the Zoom call and raising your hand during the public hearing. When your name is called in the meeting, you will be seen and heard in council chambers and the cable channel. You will be asked to unmute and then you may begin your comment. All public comments must include your full name and address. Second item on the agenda this evening is the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask everyone who could please follow along. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next item is the roll call. Please let the record reflect that all members of the council are present. Earlier this evening, the council also held a workshop, and during that workshop, the council conducted interviews of our boards and commissions for the various vacancies that we have, and we will be confirming those appointments later in the meeting. Next item is to approve the agenda. May I have the motion to approve the agenda as is, or would anyone care to make any changes?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
To approve the agenda? Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. We'll move on to the public forum. As a reminder for those members of the public who are in attendance, if you are interested in speaking, we ask that you please state your name, address, and indicate if you are representing a group, and we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. If the item you wish to speak about this is something that is on the agenda, for those that are in person, please fill out a form at the table and hand it to staff. For those that are watching via Zoom, please send a note to staff via chat and let them know which agenda item you wish to speak about. We also require that your camera is turned on when you speak. First item on the public forum this evening is something that the entire council always looks forward to. This is the swearing in of Police Officer Carl Martins. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So it's my privilege to swear in Officer Martins tonight. Just kind of a mini agenda for this item is I'll do the swearing in first. We'll bring Officer Martins up here. And then Chief Schultz has a few things to say. I think Officer Martins might have a few things to say, and then we'll do the pinning afterwards. And then if there's some time needed for the pictures, we'll take that too.
And in all of our festive attire.
All of your, yes, exactly. And then if you want to, if the council has a few words to say after that, that'd be great too.
You may want to leave the council out of pictures for the evening.
No comment on that one. Okay, so we'll start with the actual swearing in. So if I could have Officer Martins come towards the podium, that'd be great. Chief, you can come up here too if you want. So Officer Martins, I appreciate you being a great new member of our team. I've talked to you a few times, and I know you bring a unique and wonderful and vibrant personality to the department, which I'm grateful for. You've obviously joined a great group that we're all very proud of and a great community. So I'm proud of you, and I welcome you to our community and team. And it's my honor to swear you in. I'll do that in just a second here. Terrific. And after that, like I said, the chief will say a few things.
Perfect.
And do you have a long speech prepared?
At least 3 minutes.
Good, good. So if you please, Carl, Officer Martins could raise your right hand and repeat after me. And why don't you kind of move over here a little bit so we can get better pictures. And then maybe a little bit closer, and then towards me. There we go.
We got there eventually.
Anything else?
Okay. I state your name.
I, Carl Martins,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and to discharge faithfully
and to discharge faithfully,
the duties of the office of police officer
to discharge faithfully the duties of the office of police officer
of the city of Wayzata, Minnesota,
of the city of Wayzata, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. City Manager Dahl was not lying. Every time I get a chance to introduce Carl to anybody, it usually ends up with them saying something like, "Man, he's fun." So as an example of that, I'm going to try to illustrate how Carl interacts with his coworkers, okay? So Carl, how you doing?
I'm doing groovy.
Always says I'm doing groovy. It's a trademark, so. I'll take a few minutes to introduce you all to our newest officer. I hesitate to say newest because he's been through rigorous training over the last several months and finally is out on his own and enjoying his newfound freedom right before the holidays. So with no further ado, Carl is not a native Minnesotan, but he's grown to call it home. And he hails from Wisconsin and considers himself a Packers fan.
I do indeed.
We won't hold it against you. He graduated from Bethel University in 2016 with a bachelor's degree in political science and played football for the Royals. He then spent 5 years at the state capitol working within the Minnesota State Senate, learning all the ins and outs of the state government. He found his love for law enforcement in 2020 and began working as a community service officer for the South Lake Minnetonka Police Department. And then he joined the Steele County Sheriff's Office in 2022, and then Henderson Police Department in 2023. So he had a lot of learning opportunities throughout his course of his young career. And Carl will tell you that he found a great opportunity with us in Wayzata, and as a CSO, and he jumped on it immediately. He says he hasn't looked back since, and he looks forward to spending many, many years in his career here in Wayzata. When Carl originally interviewed with us, we immediately noticed his outgoing personality and his ability to communicate with people. And that really shows in anything he does every day. Whether it's interacting with his officers, fellow officers, interacting with other staff, interacting with our community, just makes people smile. We love that. So, but what really sold us over were the baked treats that his wife would send him with when he came to work. So thank you, Morgan. Deputy Chief Baker even sent a note home, I think, asking you not to make any more because it was kind of hindering our wellness policy. And it's a little tough to do both, but it's the holidays, so, right? But thank you for that. It kind of shows what kind of people you are. And I would like to add that Carl probably wins the award for having family and friends, particularly family. Travel probably the furthest for his swearing in. His parents flew in from South Carolina for this event. So, and I also see a good friend, Director Tony Ofsted from the Minnesota Commerce and Fraud Bureau back there, who we may have stole Carl from him, but he may have paid us back. Who knows? We'll see. But seriously, Carl has been a great addition to our department, and we are so very happy he's found a home here with us in Wayzata, and we just welcome Officer Carl Martins. And I think Morgan's going to do the pinning.
Floor's mine. Oh, wow. This is a big moment for me.
You're not limited to 3 minutes.
Okay, perfect. If you're expecting a big grandiose speech or to be moved by my verbal acuity, I'm sorry, but you might be disappointed today. What I can do, however, is speak from my heart. This is a truly awesome agency, and I have a few thank yous to give out. One, first of all, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, this is just a truly awesome city. You guys have done an amazing job curating a wonderful culture here. I can't tell you how many times I'm driving down the street, somebody waves at me, or I'll be going out to one of the many, many establishments here, and somebody will come up and say, hey, thanks for your service, thanks for everything you do. You're really, really important to this community. And that has just been something that I've never experienced anywhere else, like, honestly. And that, going along with that, the Wayzata Police Department is just truly incredible. I've worked for a number of agencies, a number of organizations over the years. This is by far the best work culture, honestly, and that is an absolute tribute to Chief Schultz, Deputy Chief Baker, the command staff at the police department has just done a wonderful, wonderful job. So I have to thank you guys for just welcoming me into your department, into your agency with open arms. Every time I have a question that I'm like, that was probably a dumb question. I probably could have answered that myself. They're happy to answer it. They're happy to walk me through it. They are truly, truly special. So I have to thank those guys. Most importantly is my obviously beautiful wife, Morgan, my two parents, Kathy and Michael. Truly, truly wonderful support system that I've had throughout this entire process. So it is an agency where I'm looking forward to spending the next 25, 30 years of my career retiring, and can't wait to see what's next. Thank you.
Well, welcome. As I mentioned at the beginning of the program this evening, for our meetings, there is nothing that we enjoy more than welcoming a new member to our police department or our fire departments, any staff. We consider our police department, our city hall staff, our fire personnel family. And that starts with every single person at the dais, the people that we work with who advise us in how we can be better leaders for all of you. Mom and Dad, I think you do win the prize for coming the furthest, so welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here. Morgan, it's lovely to have you as well. It is an honor to have a member of your family serve us and our community. You know, I reflect on I've been watching some shows of late of our history with policing over the last couple of years. It's not a very proud history in this state, in neighboring communities. I am very proud. I am very proud to have every single one of you serve us, serve our town, serve our sister cities nearby. Your son is in good hands with us. We are in good hands with him and the rest of his team. We will never abandon any of you at any time. So rest assured, he has a home here. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
And with that, we can maybe pause for, Mayor, you can officially make that order,
that
but
happen.
we'll pause for some photos.
Yes, we will take a brief recess for photographs and be back in session shortly. All right, we are back in session from our brief recess. So I will just check with City Manager. Do we have anybody online who would like to speak as part of the public forum?
Madam Mayor, we do not.
Okay. Seeing that there's nobody else interested in speaking in the public forum, we'll go on to the next agenda item, which is item number 6. And that is for council to bring up any items that they would like discussed at a future meeting. Does anybody have any new agenda items they'd like to bring up? Not this time. No? All right. Then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Before I read through the list, just wanted to call out, we're pulling one of the items for future consideration. It will not be considered this evening, correct?
Yes, thank you for mentioning that, Madam Mayor. So item number
G?
7G has been pulled off. So when referring to the entire consent agenda, 7A through 7M, that does not include 7G.
Okay, very good. So I will go ahead and read the items that are up for consideration this evening as part of the consent agenda. We have approval of the City Council workshop and regular meeting minutes of December 5, 2023, approval of check register, approval of municipal licenses, receipt of the police activity report, receipt of the building activity report, approval of professional services agreement for 2024 recreation services with Wayzata Community Education, award of contract to Menger Construction Companies, Inc. for the Marina Dredging Project, approval of professional services agreement with Bratt Tree Company for municipal tree removal services, approval of professional services agreement with Pro Tree Outdoor Services for municipal tree removal services, authorization to solicit bids for the Broadway Avenue Wayzata Boulevard traffic signal replacement project, adopt Resolution 73-2023 dissolving the Ad hoc Marina Advisory Committee, and lastly, approval of the 2024 through 2033 Capital Improvement Plan. Of the items I just read through, does anyone on the council have any questions or wish to pull an item for further discussion? No? Okay. Then would someone care to make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through F and H through M?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Madam Mayor.
Motion has been first and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And as is on the screen there, item G has been moved to the January 9th, 2024 meeting, once we have some additional information to share. Fantastic. Okay. Now that we've gone through the consent agenda, it will take us to new business. And under new business, we have our first item, 8A, which is to consider adoption of Resolution 67-2023, appointing Charter Commission members. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I just have a brief kind of overview of not only 8A, but all the items under new business because they relate to each other. It's really about considering the adoption of resolutions for the Charter Commission, HRA, Energy Environment Committee, Parks and Trails Board, Planning Commission, and the HPB, which is known as the Heritage Preservation Board. These should be taken in separate resolutions. That's why they're separate item agendas, but it's all pertaining to this topic of appointing community members to our boards and commissions. So just a little bit of background about this process. The city advertises like we do every year to fill various amounts of vacancies. We start the advertising process in the fall. We ultimately hold the deadline in November, and then we conduct interviews shortly thereafter. This year, we conducted interviews at actually tonight, the meeting before tonight's regular meeting. All the interviews are done here at City Hall. They're open to the public, and they usually last about 10, 15 minutes per applicant. So based on the conversation, the feedback, and kind of some other variables that we have with like reappointments, the city manager typically makes recommendations. I'll present those to you tonight. The council can discuss, change it if they so need to, and then ultimately I would recommend that there's action taken on each of the different resolutions that appoint the different boards and committees. That makes sense? Cool. So tonight, I'm not going to go through all of the details here, but there's each commission has their own kind of parameters and how many vacancies they need to fill. And I'll just, after we go through each item, I'll kind of explain what the current vacancy level is. Happy to take any questions about the process or anything else pertaining to that. Cool. Well, the first item is 8A, and that is to consider adoption of a resolution appointing Charter Commission members. Charter Commission is the one that's a little unique, where aside from city approval or city adoption via resolution, that list of names also goes to the state for approval. City attorney would probably be better able to respond as to why, but I know that's based on our unique status as a home rule charter city.
So we make a recommendation, it goes to the district
Yes.
court, and a judge ultimately approves or does the final appointment of the Charter Commission members. Is that correct, City Attorney?
That's correct, Madam Mayor. Yes, so in a sense, we're making a suggestion, a recommended appointments that the judge will, I think in my tenure, has always gone with the council's recommendation.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Thank you very much. Yes, City Manager?
Yes, so based on tonight's interviews, staff would recommend a motion to adopt Resolution 67, 2023, recommending Sarah Griffin, Mary Fadden, Paul Klaprich, and Brian Botham to the Charter Commission for 4-year terms to expire on December 31st, 2027.
All right. So would someone care to make a motion to adopt Resolution 67-2023, appointing Sarah Griffin, Mary Fadden, Paul Klaprich, and Brian Botham to the Charter Commission for their 4-year terms ending or expiring December 31, 2027.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Iverson. In a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to consideration of Resolution 68-2023, appointing Housing and Redevelopment Commissioners. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Staff would recommend that the council adopts Resolution 68, 2023, appointing Terry Hummel to a 5-year term expiring December 31st, 2028, and Ken Dayton to serve the remaining 4-year term to expire on December 31st, 2027 for the Housing and Redevelopment Authority.
Very good, thank you. And the recommendation for Mr. Dayton in his 4-year term is to replace an HRA member who was serving his term but had to resign due to moving out of the city limits. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Would someone care to make the motion that the city manager just outlined?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been first and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes as well. All right. Next up, we have, let's see. We're looking to consider adoption of Resolution 69-2023.
Yes.
And which one is 69-2023? I think what I have in front of me is incorrect. Oh, is that for energy and environment?
That is correct, yep.
Okay, My apologies. And for that, we have Lauren Lindelof. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
You got it right, Madam Mayor.
Fantastic. So would someone make a motion to adopt Resolution 69-2023, appointing Linda Lindelof to a 3-year term expiring on December 31, 2026 for the Energy and Environment Committee?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes as well, which takes us to, are we considering 70-2023 this evening for Parks and Trails?
We are, yes.
Okay. So there we go. We're at 70-2023. Appointments for Parks and Trails.
And Madam Mayor, so this was a unique board and commission where we didn't have enough applicants to fill all the vacancies. So based on our conversations tonight, we may come back in January with some additional appointments. But for tonight, staff recommends that Sarah Showalter is appointed via Resolution 70-2023. She's appointed to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2026 for the Parks and Trails Board.
Fantastic. Would someone care to make that motion?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
I think Councilmember Iverson has the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes as well. That takes us then to item 8E, which is to consider adoption of Resolution 71-2023, appointing planning commissioners. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The recommendation from staff for Resolution 71-2023 would be to appoint Peggy Douglas, Larissa Stockton, Jennifer Severson to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2026, and Chris Planton to a 1-year term for the Planning Commission. That would be the recommendation. As I mentioned, the last item, that we've got some other interested parties where we had more interest on this than we had vacancies that we're going to talk to about the Parks Commission.
Fantastic. All right. Would someone care to make a motion based on the resolution that the city manager just outlined?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes as well. All right. I believe we're on to the last one, and that is to consider adoption of Resolution 72-2023, appointing Heritage Preservation Board members.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So staff's recommendation for that Resolution 72-2023 would be to appoint Sonia Travante, Kelly Groton, and Kim Garrity to 2-year terms expiring December 31st, 2025 to the Heritage Preservation Board.
Very good. Would someone care to make that motion?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes as well. That's all we have for new business. We'll have a couple of things come back to us. We'll have Parks and Trails, potentially. We don't know yet. We're going to have some conversations with some applicants. And then we also had interviews that included LMCD, but that comes before us in January. So I was misunderstanding the timing of things when we conducted our interviews today. So to the applicants, I apologize for that mix-up on my behalf.
Madam Mayor, and I sent them a communication, and that it's a little bit different because they're not a part of LMCD is a other entities board and commission, so it's done a little bit differently, but it's the next meeting, so hopefully they're okay with waiting.
It's an appointment as a City of Wayzata representative to another outside body
Exactly.
that we don't, they govern themselves.
Exactly.
Right. They don't fall under the Wayzata umbrella.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that was all for new business. It takes us to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to say happy holidays to you, our staff, the community. To honor the holidays, obviously, the City Hall is going to be closed. So Friday, the 22nd, City Hall will be closed, as well as Monday, December 25th, and then Monday, January, is that second or first? Yeah, second. Or, I'm sorry, first. New Year's Day, that is on a Monday, City Hall will be closed as well. So those 3 days are when this building will be closed. Obviously, our loyal servants on the police department, fire department, and even public works, if we do end up getting some snow, they'll be out there serving the community. But for all purposes, City Hall will be closed those days. And that's all I have.
All right. Quick question for you. The Wayzata Wine and Spirits and the Wayzata Bar and Grill, so both entities owned by the city, they have slightly different hours of operation. Where would people over the holidays find out what the hours of operation are?
They can go just to their website. You can get a link if you go to wayzata.org to the Wine and Spirits or Bar and Grill. Call City Hall or just go to their own specific website. They're open more than City Hall is, but you're right, they are limited, especially on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and I'd have to check on New Year's, but I think they're closed for part of New Year's too.
But that information is on the website.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. I don't remember, it seems like we were together so long ago. I don't remember what's transpired since then. A couple of things. I mean, we did have a really nice note. So I want to say thank you to City Hall staff. It was a note that I received thanking us for, and this goes to the city attorney as well, for all the hard work with the agreements with Comcast and bringing them in. It was a neighborhood that had decided to get the services. So new provider, very happy, very thankful that they had some options to work with. And so they were expressing their gratitude and their thanks for everybody's hard work and recognition that couldn't have been easy to execute on, but they were very grateful. So thank you for that. Also, I want to thank some community members and staff as well. They had requested a special event permit down on Panaway to ring in Hanukkah. And it was an absolutely, they did a lovely job of putting that event together. They brought in members of, different members of the community, local, but also from surrounding communities. They had some festive music. They had donuts and just a really warm, inviting, convivial place to bring in a holiday this season. And it was really beautiful. It was very touching. So thank you to staff for that. They were very grateful and very gracious. And I was really surprised by the turnout. There were close to 300 people there. So imagine my surprise when I came around the corner. I'm like, oh, fantastic. I wish I'd prepared more to say, but it was really lovely. And it's wonderful to have people of so many different cultures and faiths and backgrounds that choose to come, which is the purpose of why we built Panaway, to come together in different ways to celebrate each other and one another. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you for the invitation to come and speak and for putting together such a lovely program. And I guess the only other thing is I want to thank my colleagues for another amazing year. This is the last time we're all going to be together for 2023. I also want to thank them for being amazingly good sports for the ugly sweaters, ugly Christmas sweaters or holiday sweaters. Thank you for entertaining me, and it is very much appreciated. I appreciate, we deal with some heavy issues sometimes, and we put in a lot of work. It was something like this where we can still come together and work hard, but in a little bit more festive and lighter mood.
Who do you think won, Madam Mayor?
Oh, definitely Councilmember Perkill. Yeah, he wins the prize. Yes. Well done. 3D shirt. Yes. So thanks for being good sports. It's very much appreciated, and it doesn't detract from the important and hard work that we all do. But it is, and thank you to staff. Thank you for playing along.
Also, thank you to this. Oh, never mind. Not city attorney.
It is in spirit. Yes, he is with us in spirit. So again, I wish my colleagues a very happy, healthy holiday season, and I look forward to a very productive and engaging 2024. It's going to be a heck of a ride. So we have a lot of fun things planned. So thank you very much. Anything else from any other members of the council? No? Then how about a motion to adjourn? I know you're enjoying all of this so very much. You don't want the 2023 to come to an end.
So moved.
Well played. How about a second?
Second.
Now, I know somebody's got further discussion. No? All right. Motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.